My name is Pierce, and I'm built different.
My name is Jaime.
I'm Big Daddy Mango, but you can call me Tony.
My name's Odin.
And we're doing the Venezuelan Revolution.
All right. It seems that the Venezuelan rebelled because they're getting heavily taxed by the Spanish and didn't have any opportunities to make more money. Their taxes were being mismanaged or used for other purposes other than helping their people. Every time they rebelled against these powers, they just switched from one dictatorship to the other, kind of like the French Revolution.
As the French Revolution brought about ideals of making the quote unquote the Enlightenment, it spread about the world and began people to ask themselves, how come we don't have a say? What is the difference between us and them? They brought about a huge rise in people's fighting for their rights, especially in Venezuela, as they had been under Spanish/Portuguese rule for more than 300 years. Who were some of the most important figures in the Venezuelan Revolution, Juma?
Simon Bolivar was one of these leaders fighting for independence for Spain. John Green explains that there are multiple groups in Venezuela, such as revolutionary juntas that had formed a republic known as the Carcas, and the rest of Venezuela was home to mixed cowboys serving under the king known as Llaneros. They kept the Carcas revolutionaries from extending their power inland, and Simón Bolívar realized that the only way for Venezuela to come together and see past the different classes was for them to realize that they're all Latin American and not Spanish. It was going to be hard. All right, Jaime.
Simon Bolivar and John Locke brought about similar Enlightenment ideas that help people change their way of thinking, which help them become more independent and have a stronger free will against their oppressors. John Locke had stated that people are naturally free, equal, and independent, meaning that people are born with natural rights. Simon Bolivar says, where a lone man holds all power, it is a nation of slaves, meaning that when one man holds all the power, he takes away people's natural born rights, which is what slavery is.
There were many events in the history of Venezuela war, but by far the most important was the War of Independence.
There were so many wars in the history of the Venezuelan Revolution. What made this one so important?
It was important because Venezuela lost ground in 1812 and was taken over by Spain. Venezuela lost ground in 1812, but in the same year, the Caracas earthquake occurred, causing another war of independence called the Battle of La Victoria. This was another chance to take back their home of Venezuela.
The Battle of La Victoria was fought by students, given the shortage of regular Republican troops. According to Rabas, they had to arm thousands of students from colleges and seminars in the city and other neighboring towns. Republican troops built an impressive resistance, withstanding the royalist troops led by, at that time, Francisco Thomas Morales.
That's awesome.
By late afternoon, victory had not yet gone to either side.
Yeah, this shows that the revolution wasn't only the milita fighting for control, it was also the people's love for their country and belief in Simón Bolívar's ideals. According to Simón Bolívar, during the battle, he said to reestablish the Republican governments that once formed the Confederation of Venezuela. This is an awesome reason for the people to fight because it gives them a voice in the government, which is the whole reason they're fighting in the revolution.
Although there were still ongoing battles to drive out Spain, Venezuela gained their independence July 5th, 1811. It was only a win for Venezuela. It was a win for the ideas of the Enlightenment.
The Enlightenment was a time of ideas and free thinking, also a time of rebellion against oppressive governments.
Yeah, as John Green stated, the most revolutionary thing about these independence movements is that they enshrine the idea of so-called popular sovereignty, meaning so the revolutions around the world modernize the idea of having a limited government where people have a say in how the government is run.
Exactly, just like John Locke stated, the best way to prevent the government from being unjust or cruel is to have laws which define what the government may do, which was exactly what at the end of the Venezuelan Revolution they adopted.
When the Venezuelan Revolution was successful in driving out Spain and gaining independence, as of now, it unfortunately has transcended into an authoritative system where civil rights are protected and elections are not honorable.
Yeah, as people in the society, we tend to concentrate on our own well-being, personal gain, and immediate problems rather than long-term goals. When changes seem distant or too complicated to comprehend, they can fade in favor of something more urgent.